jaamacadaha loogu jira maxaa 15 10 years qofku uu doortaa inuu wax qoro oo wax akhriyo qof war fadhiisto only one reason waa inuu helo xayaatan dayiba waa inuu nolol wanaagsan helo wage wanaagsan helo gabadh waxaas wanaagsan helo ubad wanaagsan helo mustaqbal wanaagsan helo sidaa taqaaniin aanu dhigo waa inaad faraari gaadhiga laha raacdo way wejigaagu qofku ka bilaabo waa inaad famous noqotay taas u bay noqon nolosha inaad nolol wanaagsan hesho oo wax loo barto waxaan doonayaa walaalayaal inaan idin xusuusiyo nolosha wanaagsan dadku maanta nool gaal iyo muslim waxay doonayaan ahaadeen diintu doonaya ha rumaysnaa dhinac buu ka arka dad waxay u maleeyeen maadigoo lagu talax tago in nolosha wanaagsan ay ku jirto dad waxay u arkeen masaajidkoo la fadhiyo duug weyn la xidhay inay nolosha wanaagsan ku jirto waxaan doonayaa inaan figar ama calaamado uun idin tuso dabeetana idinku aa ka qiyaas qaadataan soomaali baa diin sida lay sheegay dan qaarkiin chinese ahayn jiraan kolley waa isku jirtaan laakiin soomaali waa badanti waxaa ka soo dhex baxdeen society la odhan karo inta badan boqolkiiba 80 noloshoodu qurbaha markay joogaan waxay u qaybsameen dadka ku nool waddankan dadka meel ugu hooseeya haddayna ahayn kuwa ugu baaba'san ayaa ka soo dhex baxday ilaahay wuxuu idin fudaydiyey inaa aqoon maadi qalbigiina ay gasho wuxuu idin fudaydiyey inaa sabirtaan wuxuu idin fudaydiyey aqoonta professionalkee la sheegay inay idin soo gaadho society-gaad ka timid afkaan ku hadlaya ku hadlaa midabkaaga leh xijaabkaaga sita sidaad u eg tahay u egay waa society ay baabi'isay drugs oo qaadiya wax la midi qabyaalad tribes ay baabi'isay jahli aqoon darro adigu ku sugaya prime ministerka waddankan wixii soo diri maayo ka soo saarta xaafadaha ku jiraan waa malaayigina samada uga iman maysa adigu sugaya camalkan maanta qabateen ama arrintan ay isku timaadeen marka hore waan idinku bogaadinayaa bogaadisku af soomaali weyne waan idinka mahad celinayaa ilaahay subxaanahu wa tacaala ha idin fudaydiyey waxaa soo ogaataa nolosha wanaagsan shahaadooyinkaad qabsato qura kuma jirto waxay ku jirtaa 6 sababood inaad ilaaliso ilaahay wuxuu tilmaamayaa female ama male wuxuu doonaya waxa noqdee qofka doonaya inuu nolosha adduunyo wanaagsanaada successful noqdaa aakhirana liibaana inuu ashyaada la yimaado min dakarin aw unsa wa huwa mu'min falanuhyiyannahu xayaatan tayiba ba'di xayaatan wanaagsan ilaahay sheegaya way kow haddaad doonayso ummad inaad badbaadiso society zero from the bottom aad ka soo qaado waa inaad heshaa waxa ugu horeeya sabir patient sabir haddaadan lahayn saddex wax baa sabir la yidhaahdaa shareecada islaamka maadiga caadigiina saddexdaas ugu shaxaa inaad aqoonta iyo juhdiga iyo waxaad samaynaysa naftu ma jeclee iyo gaajada iyo busaaradda aad ku sabirto kalahaadaad wax walba ka lahayso baska raacayso tareenka raacaysa naftu ma jecla inaad ku celisaa nafta aqdaarta iyo waxa kugu xeeran in badan oo inaga mid waxay jaamacadaha uga tagaan ayay ama eedadii baa shan jeer soo garaacay lacag baa meel walba taalle waa maxay qofkaaga faqriga hadda garaankii yaree wuu liitaa dabeetana ciisa waa iskaga tago sukuurad iyo klinig iyo waxaas waa inaad heshaa sabir haddaad sabir heli meel ma gaari karto noloshu waxay ku bays garaysan tahay inaad patient la timaado arrinta labaad haddaad doonaysaan camal kastoo la qabanaya inuu successful noqdo walaalayaal ee loo baahan yahay waxa weeye an laa tacjis nabi maxamed sala allahu calayhi wasalam maalmaha ka mida wuxuu la talinayay dad dhallinyara waxa uu kula taliyey advice aad iyo aad u wanaagsan waxa uu tilmaamay noloshu inay gacanta ilaahay ku jirto yuqallibuha kayfa yashaa adigoo digrii kasta sameeyey shahaado kasta gaadhay haddaan ilaahay kuu fududayn waxaad doonaysa kuma fududaanayso I give you example waxaan anigu life soo taagay Liverpool University oo taqaaniin West England ku taala no West England ku taala inaan Axmed leeyahay baa wuxuu sameeyay PhD buu ku sameeyay dabeetana muddo 4 sano u shaqalaa job center kaan tagnaa meel walba uu tagaa waxa la yiraahdaa sheekho waxa doonaysa lama haye adigu buuxbuuxso waraaqdo saddex giroon soo doono oo shaqo raadso gabadha wax ka saxiixaysa dugsi saraba kama bixin maalintii dambe ayaan inankii aan kulanay ana darsi baan ku lahaa jaamacadda muxaadara ka jeedinayay meesha howlkeeda inankii baa yimi dabeetana waxaan kala hadlay arsaaqada iyo sidoo ilaahay u furo إنك يبان إسرعني ساجدكي الرحمة موسكو ينابان تقني كتابان ولا خافني مركل لببلودي لتشوبي أي إلهي وحد دون السماء وحنوي أرضي سعودي قال جسوا بدلي أو قاركود جامعة دماني شركي إنما دوبان ساجدكي جرا ولا هذا نيم بها كم ذايل وأنا بكدوني إرساقات بود دبت كرادين يبى مساجدك يشوكت إذا هم مساجدك وضياشة كلاو تقاني إسلامك كجبوه مساجدك إرساقات بود سوكش دبتنا هنا كيف أفهم كبوحي وحول مركان نقضه جامعة مدينة كتابة مدينة النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أنا معلم كاهي قدومية أنا كوي فايد قرينية هذا هنا كي مدينة وحكرني قام معلم كي هاي مشاهد كيسو بقولكم كبدا هاي تكس لقى ما تشرو وأروح كلامكم ما قرأتي لقاري هندي بوضع حق البساري مركين عيدا نسيح نوح سياح عيدا حتى شوف سترك أي سلليتي النبي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم إرساقته هي سيدة وشقيسة ويكد وانت سيدة إليها نعرف إذا واحد أبغى أنت تلذ النبي قلنا كايرسي وحيا هاي إلهي سبحانه وتعالى كالما يسوها عاجز بيها وحد يقول تللها شقة كستوء قبنا إنسان أما وخبر شهاها أما تنا يمكن بلودانها تهك عاجزين حماس دي قادني عاطفه أنت مروح قبتان فراك قادنا ولا أنت وذي كرتان عملك هي أقوم تلقى مداله إلى أدقش لك مداله وأنا حسست وقت دورية مثلا لقيت شو وأنا مدينة كايمي أنا يا واحد تجي خرطوم جامعة ليلادو أفريقيا يونيفرسيتي جامعة الأفريقية معروفة بروفيسور أفرت سنة بروفيسور هذا لا تشتري وحلت شكتشيري قف قارئ رئيس أفريقيا كايمي ده اللي يرى الدون يإنه أمد وحجو الدون يإنه وحنقضه الدون يإنه قارو ميل أن سوسايتي يسود القاري وحدو بهم هنا ودوين كان كتلا وده شرنشروين كان ينقل كو هاي سكو هالين ها اعتماد الشهادة هاي ستقول إلهي سبحانه وتعالى كحب نوم ده دون سين الله يسخر القادر أقونت هذا مسلمي أقونت هذا برتين مسلمي أقونت هذا مسلمي وهذا بقش واحد من سنته إن بدلوا بروفيسور ده جامعة وحكي لقى يبغى دينه كلام من سنة أي واحد يجي يوم واحد كتب بقان يبغى يفتح القرآن waxay ku dabaqaan inta badan waxay rumaysan yihiin ayay ku dabaqaan kan kula dad daayir ku kay marka hore rumaysnaa daayir dabeetana sayniskii uu kaaga dhigay iska soo xambaaro waxaan xasuustaa masaajidan lecture ka jeediyo beebigan ku yaala ayaa inaan dhalinyaro xalay yimid marka lecture-kii dhameeyay wuxuu sheekhu waa maxay ciidan iyo waxaad sheegaysaa soonagii daayir ka nimid inaan daayir ka imid scientific ahaan baan ku tusayaa buu inaan daayir ka nimid waxaad ku diidaysaa مارك هذا هالكم مرة ينك يوضيقها جامعة دي سالك يلا كشف أقومت إسلامية وحكلوا بهنك ولا ليه إن وقتك كفاية ستان وقته عرفت واحد هذا الوقت كالصيف وقته ووحص عناية اسمه تاجي هذا كفاية سن أو كنافة هذا ما تقول شرني سجع كشري كفاية است وقتك وكفاية است هذا بروفيشنال ودته هذا إذا ما أنت شقاهاي هذا شقاه إنسان تيمكن إن آخر السنة حوق نمتشوقي قرحين نمتشوقي عافمتين نمتشوقي أود نمتشوقي one day أي تجي سيدا درادين وفائدة ما عد كلام باهن وفائدة أو أما فري وفائدة أما العب وفائدة يقل واحد برتع عد كلام واحد وقالته النبي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم ويجري أنت القف ولا الكاي عاون سيله وعاونه تصالح كلام قصية سالفة لا بيننا ولا لها وقت النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أيام متكمل وشغلتك كتير صباح كستين تكلم 6 o'clock يقولك سنة كتير ككلنا النبي قبض صلى الله عليه وسلم وحمود كتير حديث مسوقين وحوجا بالعكس سوش غير ولعنا كيف خديان استاجر رسول كوتي صلى الله عليه وسلم رسول كان يقول ما أقول بحديث ينعنع بنولي ماذا أنا ونوان شقينا وانو لمنه it's not fair تيمي ويدي it's not fair إن شقيه it's not أنتو حديث صور الله سو مساج تقولين تيدا النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم سكروا التوجيه وحكوري إسكدا لعله يرزق به وحاول لقيابا إن سببتي سيلهاي الشقدية أرساقدك وفديدية ده تيمكن آخرة إنسية وقتي نكفى إيديستا كالا يميلها إلهي لمو عابدو دادك عقونتا كودانتان قارسية أنا بروفيشنال ميدي كاو بروفيشنال كالا دادك قارسية عقونتا كودانتان دادك باهي بيو قبال إن وحلا قارسيو إن لعاويو إلهي نوكو عاونا يا مرك waxaan ku soo koobaya ma doonayo inaan waqti badan idinka qaato إلى عليه استفادة الوقت وقت إلى كفاية هذا دون إنسان إن سفر نقطان الله وعكلوا بهنته عدم اللذات إن إذا كنت لحتجين معان سجاء الدنيا أو أين النرشين ونقول مريحة حين سينما قاعدة شركة اليوم مرغية السوء كان يد هذا مثلا ننتهي قبله هو يسميستان سيكس باجنات سميسته إن حوجا بجايه وهذا هو مشغولنا كم مشغول إن النرش عيد كله وقفايد يسوع برجع هذا استوى الحمد لله والعبادة يسن لكن تيم كاغا آخر إنسي وعن كله دون ياين الخصوصية كل حسابة المال تجد برمشة لها كل حسابة yesterday they gone وحش لها أبصميسي إلهي وكو خرقان خير يا وناك تجي ما صار نقني برهنا ولو ما هيسي واحد عاية you don't know what happened tomorrow وهذا بهان تايمر كمان تجوك كمان تينا تفايدس وفيرسو هذا إنه صدق قفو professional كاتينو كلا عيننا أو بيمجم جوبا انتبه السوسايتي كأنه كدرنا إنه كبدلنا الله وضع عبنا إياه نرشي لك عاقفية وبدي مدي لك عاقفية عسبتال شيل كما قال لنا تشوفتان ما تكتين أنا قلت لك عسبتال وقول كيف الصدق ذاتك كتير مسلمين في الصومالية يمنية باكستانوي وده أي شيء نوكا هدي أديك إلى هي كابد بادية ضافتي اسكت دينا العاون كرتك وصوص علينا هو ده أمري سيدا أتكون عاون كرتانا وين الدين يا أخلاقي نقوم بالسعودات قال سوى الله وحنقص أوروريني وحدو بهانتا أفقس تو وحبرتي وحب بهاي إنه كل ميو عملك الدنيا أنفعي يا كآخر من كل هذا كآخر بدسوا الدنيا كتكتنا ما ليبان ولا تنسى نصيبك من الدنيا هذا كالدنيا وقرا قادتنا أو كي آخرة كتكتنا وحب ما تهلي تاريخ القرآن كتبوا يجي السنة حتى تاريخ العادي كان عذاب كويس إمي سبق الراد يريد صومر يلا هي حقيقة بتي ثم الروق عصبا نيوم يسنوية لو يد الإنسان حلوت بعناية وين تندى يكون آخر يشوف آخر هذا يشوفان وحي يشوفان واحد حساب وحن كل تلنا يا ولا يا نفتي دي نفتي إذا ما وحك استاق من إنسان إلهي وقال ما يست إلهي وقال ما يستو إلهي بريء إنه إلهي دين فضيل شقد إلهي بهاية أدقون الدجال إلهي بهاية وحن كولا إن السبب ثلاث ماضو مراه كذا لندون إلهي أو ثلاث مركا تاس ما يسوع والليباني حرق قاديك إلهي إذا كان حي هذا ترتو معنا بدل كل سمين ما يمشاه كان قادتي دقيقة سنتها أو آدم إسكت ديننا إلهي حرير ليا إن بدل ورد ليا هذا society كي يدين كوكله هالك كنون وسترن كحكم إذا شام عدد بدل بنتك أنا ووضع كويا مانشستر يونيفرسيتي وانتك اللي بيقول وانتك شام عدد بدل كويا لا وضع كان ليا راني كتوب بدل إن بدل وحدات كلومية نلاش ليا هالك كنون لاين iyo markay western soo noolyihiin bartaan ba ilaahay ka fogaadaan soo qallama yuujad waxa laga yaabaa inaad aragtaba ay yaraato qof muslim oo Soomaaliya oo si wacan wax u bartay ama shaqo wacan haya oo ilaahay si wacan u xidhay shaqadaada ictimaad caafimaadkaagana ha ku tashan ilaahay ku xidhnow wuxuu ku siiyaba ilaahay ku shakana haddaad soo dhaaftay point-ka jahliga oo aqoon ku gashay هذا كسو قدوتي ترى جهل واقعك وكشيء أو بروفيشنال بمريسو عاو عندك لك ليلته فحنقول عن صومالي صدق وحس كيلالي قبيلة كفوجات أمورين ما يدون فيش كذا كلها وبنتي ينوينات قبيلة متقانين لكن سكيلالي لا كوي بابيس أرنت لواذا سكيلالي سوين النقطة إن عد ما يدين دورتين أو شقيدين هيسا إن الدولة ضخ الشيء تام حكم الصعدة عاون ولا كهذا العاون كرين أفكار كهيس وحشقدوا هيو هذا وحكم كرني كرين أفكار كهيس وحن ولا ليال نفتي نبو تردار مية وحيد سوقيا long way to go إن أفما هقول أستي يونيفرسيتي بيمكم سيتي تكقلين شبيسي إن أتسكت احتاجناته هذه هو أمة لدوني إلى بدبادس long way to go dadka كم wax ka bedelay jaamacadaha aragtaan bay ka baxaan hablayeen ama ba jaamacadaha aragtaan bay ka qalin jabiyaan research ay sameeyaan way dadaalaan ilaahina way tala saartaan wax bay bedelaan ummadana afkooda ku hadlaysan midabkoodii iyo maryahoodii sidataan idinka idin sugaysan ilaahina aakhiro idin weydiinaya waxaan u maleynayaa timekayga uu jooga hadalkuna kiisa yar baa faa'iido badan ayaa faa'iido badan هذا دون إنسان نقول ونحسن السكفلة شغلات هاي سين لهي كوبركي نلشة هذا ينا لكوبركي mustaqbalkaaga alla inuu barakeeyo caafimaadkaaga alla inuu barakeeyo qof nool oo dunida wax ku soo kordhiyo inaad noqoto aakhiro inaad janno hesho adduunyada inaad magac hesho inaad ahaato qof ilaahay agtiisa qiimo ku leh waxa aad baratay ku camal fal qofka kaaliitana gaarsii isku day intaad qof caawinaysa ilaahay ku caawinaya aqoontii aad baratay inaad idinku wax ku qabsataan in badan oo waxa kamid ah dhalinyarada maanta waxa ka cabanaysa isagoo graduate marka uu CV-giisa diraa dustbin-ka la dhigayo qiimee meeshaad ku nooshahay adigu ciddaa tahay magacaagu wuxuu yahay markaad qiimaysataa waxaad u baahan tahay sabir badan inaadan ka daalin hal yaro quraanjo la yidhaha mataqaani anti aad taqaaniin cule itaalkeedu intuu leeyahay Soomaad arag haddaad afuufto ku tiraa way dhacaysaa antidaya haddaad eegto say u nooshahay saddex qaybood bay u qaybsantaa saddex group laakiin say u nooshahay haddaad ogtahay iyadoo culaysida ayay geed koraysaa ama gidaar uu ka soo dhacaysa haddaana way ku noqonaysaa inta wixii soo qaado 9 jeer ama 7 jeer bay dhacaysaa ilaa ay baasto ma ka joogayso hadda 2 jeer intaad dirtay CV baad oranaysaa ariga daashqana waaye aan xasuustaa nin baan qaayad ugu yimid small heath ku taal turub ciyaariya turubka ma taqaan baa keera laga nimanku la ciyaariyo wuxuu ku leeyahay hadda sheekhawan u jaamacadan dhameeyo master baa oo hadda master time aad turubka ka ciyaaraysa master taas waa been yay fake noqon master fake yay noqon master cilmi oo run wayna noqotaa dadka wax ku anfaca ummadeena iyo dadkeena oo dhan baa baahan inamada dhalinyarada ilaahay waxaan u weydiinayaa amalka fiican ay qabteen in ilaahay iyo idinkaba in ilaahay idinku hormariyo in ilaahay amal saalix idinka dhigo dadkan u baahan caawimada ina caawisaan ilaahayna idinka idin caawiyo sallallahu ala nabiyina muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam jazakumullahu khairan jazaa wa ahsanallahu ilaykum
That was an excellent talk, inshallah. That's most of the key notes that he's discussed there is part of the elements that we're going to be talking about as well, the helping other people. So I'm very grateful for a ship to start us off with that. To the economical state of West Midlands, and there's a lot of reports that say that West Midlands is the worst region hit in terms of employment, unfortunately, due to the recession. There's a lot of reports. We've even gone and did a whole study in the West Midlands to find out what the Somali youth was thinking and how they struggled. And what we wanted to achieve was to find out how they're going about this. Our results, we can discuss some of the results that we found. It's quite astonishing. We don't believe the results, but we wanted to find out for ourselves within the West Midlands. Mehdi, talk about this one.
After the talk, inshallah, we did about 150 surveys, and 95% of the Somali youth in Birmingham and West Midlands feel there's no support in terms of careers at all. It's like it's a brick wall, nowhere to go. They are very demoralized, don't know what to do. We have a lot of graduates, on job centres or they're working low-skilled jobs. What we don't have is we don't have the community to help each other, and we don't have the network. So the next one we did also was where to go for internet career support. 75% of Somalis go to the internet support. There's nowhere else to go. I mean, there's nowhere else to go. So the only place we can go is the internet. So that's something we will do as a YSP, to come together and help each other. And another one, only 1%, so probably 1 or 2 people are a member of a professional body. We don't have, anyone in professional bodies, only 1 out of 150 or 2 are accepted. Most of us don't even know where to go to be part of a professional body. Let it be accounting professional body, engineering, medicines. We don't know where to go because if you're working in a warehouse or you have low-skilled jobs, a carer, or when you have a degree, nobody will tell you where to go to be part of a professional body. We as Somalis, we need to be part of professional bodies where we have networking skills, we can get jobs. So these are the questions we pulled out from our survey. Probably most of you guys have filled in, and we would like to share the problems in this environment. So that's the survey results. Thank you.
Who has helped the Somali community? I mean, what we need to understand is the Somali community needs to help itself. So what we've decided to do was establish the Young Somali Professionals. Our group members are, we have a diverse group members that involve civil engineers, electronic engineers, we've got accountants in there, we've got medical staff in there. These are all young Somali professionals coming from Birmingham, the West Midlands areas. We've got the medical staff. The whole purpose about this is to help ourselves in terms of helping, like the Sheikh said. If we've made it, inshallah, to work corporate environment, now we'd like to help the younger Somalis coming up to network within ourselves to get the jobs going through the young Somalis. So this is just a snapshot of how many people. So the Young Somali Professional is a non-profit organisation dedicated and developing and advancing the Somali community in cultivating professional experience amongst its members. So that's just saying we'd like to cultivate all the professionals together so we can use our mind to aim and connect established professionals and support and aspire and develop young Somali community to reach its most potential. And we all know the potential of Somali young people, but we just need to cultivate the energy and bring it all together so we can aim a bit higher, inshallah, starting climbing up the ladder in terms of education and employability and reaching the professional level that we are all know we can achieve. Our aim is to engage its members in community service and work with employers in business, like ACP, non-profit organisations to recruit and retain high and achieving individuals. The point about that is we need to start using our own professional services, accountants, engineers, ITs, within the Somali community so we can develop our people, inshallah. So that is, inshallah, the whole reason why we set up the Young Professional Society. There's a lot of Somali professionals out there, inshallah, that have made it, that's just doing their own thing internally, but inshallah what we're aiming to do is bring them all together and do a whole, unite so we can help young Somalis who are in university so they don't have to go through the same struggles that we've gone through in terms of applications and going through the same interview difficulties and not having knocking on the door. So we'd like to have a network of young Somalis together so they can make it the path easier, inshallah, for the ones who are upcoming. So that's the main aim, inshallah. So in this presentation, you'll hear a couple of stories or aspiring stories of young Somali professionals who work in the West Midlands, and they're going to tell you about how they've struggled, inshallah, and how they've gained their professional status, and how, inshallah, you can take away a little bit of aspiration, hopefully, because we've had a similar thing when I was in university, where, inshallah, it was a really smaller audience, in fact, a small audience that turned up to such an event. It was maybe about 30 people that was done in Hilal. And I'm very fortunate that, inshallah, I turned up to that event. I was in a similar situation with a lot of you guys. I was a student. And there was a guy from Holland, inshallah, and he gave a little story about how he got a job, a banking job. And I was quite fortunate, inshallah, I mentioned that in my next talk. I was quite fortunate to be present at the day to listen to that because I was going to university at that time. And I didn't appreciate the amount of difficulty it would be in terms of getting a job. So, inshallah, I count myself slightly bit fortunate because you guys are here today listening to the difficulties that we've been through. Inshallah, you guys are going in university. I'd like you guys to appreciate how difficult it is. I mean, I've portrayed to you, inshallah, how hard it is for Somalis. Cultivate the fact how bad it is in Birmingham in terms of employment alone. So what I would like you to take away from this is, inshallah, not to be disheartened. There are young Somalis out there who's going to try to help you guys to not go through the same thing that we've gone through, inshallah. So that's the part of the program today.
So today you heard about what we are. So what's next? Yeah? What's in it for you? You came all the way to come and see us. What's the benefit for you guys? So first of all, we have a few events in the future, and the first event, inshallah, we haven't got a date, but soon we have a careers day event where we have companies coming. We're already confirmed, taking on people, so interviewing people, right, for graduate jobs. I spoke to my company, Osman spoke to his company, I spoke to his company. So we are all professionals, we all want to help each other. So some companies have already agreed to come to our event, inshallah, careers day, with their graduates or HR personnel, and inshallah we'll be taking on the bright students. So get yourself prepared. So how are we going to get ourselves prepared for that? First of all, later on after this event finishes, we've got CV stalls and people that need career advice. So before you can apply for a job, you need to know how to apply for a job. If you don't have a CV, some of you guys might not even have a CV. We're here to help. We know how to write CVs. We already went through the struggle. As Mark said, we have to struggle. We have nowhere to go. Yeah? You guys, mashallah, you guys have someone to talk to now. You know, when I was in university, I was 6 years ago, I had no advisor to talk to. So that's one thing we're going to do. And also, some companies we work for, we have a recommendation scheme. So if you join us, inshallah, you guys all join us, inshallah, you put your CV, you know, on our website, you send us your CV, we will check your CV, and if we think you're the right person for one of our jobs in our companies, we will recommend you. What we mean is, yeah? You can give your CV to the manager, you know, here you go, this person is important, you know, this person knows the job, and here you go. We can't go anywhere. We don't have to apply for jobs. I apply for so many jobs, and sometimes they don't even look at my CV. Where's the work? You know, you guys have support from us. Well, we recommend you guys, and we pass the CV to the manager, to the HR departments. So this is one of the plans we have in place. Also, what we have very important is a mentor program where we go into schools, we go into colleges, and we'll make sure that you know what you're doing. So the mentor program. So one of you guys will have either Asma or me as a mentor, and we will show you how to get to whatever you want, your success, your dream. So you always have someone to go to. So the mentor program, I think, is one of the best aspects we're going to have, is the mentor program. And also, I think what other benefit we're going to have as well, inshallah, in the future, is an awards program. Inshallah, I'm sure one of you guys, inshallah, will make it big, inshallah, and have a good career. If you are we will award you. We have inshallah, we have an event like this called Somali Professional Awards Scheme. We will award you for what effort you put in and how far you succeeded. So we will first start off with whatever your name is, what you studied, and inshallah, a year time, what you have done. Because we will advise you what to do. So your progress, inshallah, will only improve. So that's the plans we have in place. Inshallah, Allah Ta'ala, carry on.
Just going to talk a little bit about my experience, how I got to the status my job push at the moment. I'm a civil engineer, quantity surveyor. I work for Network Rail, work for a consultancy at the moment. So, if I just quickly fast forward into the second year of university, while I was in university, my whole aim of university was just to get it finished as soon as possible. I did not want to stay there any longer. I just wanted to finish up university. But what I didn't appreciate was the faster I finished, the faster I was going to the job centre. You know, at the time there was not many jobs around. So the next question was, my mother forced me to do a placement year. Inshallah, at the time I was at university, there was a lot of companies coming to my university. So I wasn't really too keen on doing a placement year. And there's questions like, is the work going to be like slave labour? Is it going to cost me a little bit of money? Am I going to just waste my time? Are my friends going to graduate before me? Am I going to go to the third year with strangers? I wasn't really too keen on it, but inshallah, as a Somali, you have to listen to your parents, and especially the mother, so I was forced to do my placement year. Fortunately, that turned out to be one of the best things in my life, inshallah, because that placement year for me meant I was paid really well, contrary to what I believed. It was an all expenses. I was working in a good experience in London on a project, the Shepherd's Bush project, and it meant that I had a better understanding going to the final year of university in terms of working on the real world. And I think the biggest thing for me was working in the real world while in university. It gave me an essence of working in the real world in terms of the struggles that an ethnic person will have to go through. I was on site and I was told to tell people who are 3 years older than me how to do the things and check their quality, and it was really a big sparking experience for me, because I was felt like ashamed telling someone who's much older than me to work as an engineer to how to do their work. And I felt a sense of, from the first time, I said racism. And it was a big experience for me. So inshallah, when I went to the third year, I had more determination, and I had a bit more edge about myself because of that placement year. I had a bit of edge competitive effort when I got to interviews. So that placement in the year was really, really important to me, and it's something that I would really push a lot of people. At the moment, when I speak to young Somalis, they're exactly the same place I was. They just want to finish university as soon as possible, not knowing that how difficult environment it is. I spoke to one young person the other day ago, and he said to me, I don't need to do a placement, I just need to get it done as soon as possible. And I just looked at it thinking, that's me about a couple of years ago. I just knew, well, more than a couple of years ago, but I knew exactly how he felt. So what he didn't have, and also what I didn't have, was someone to tell him and to tell me, stop, take 2 steps back. Do you know how the environment is? Do you know what you're going into? Do you know the racism? Do you know the difficulties? Do you know the work environment, how it is, as I mentioned in the first slide? So that's one of the things that I'm quite passionate about. What I went through, trying to make sure the Somalis, inshallah, don't have to go through that struggle, so they can have someone who can guide them in terms of what degree they're going for. So that's one of the key features, inshallah, why I decided to do this. Yes. So unfortunately, when I did graduate, there was the recession time, 2009. Construction was on a down, and I picked construction. When I went to university, they said construction is the best degree you can have. When I finished in my third year, they said it's the worst degree you can have at the time. It was the recession time, and first ones to go was graduates, which was the first ones to go. So I had to make a plan, inshallah, in terms of job hunting. I filled out almost 200 applications. There was on the Daily Mail, there was an article that said a young person, it's not something funny, but a young person committed suicide. She filled out 200 applications and she got rejected 200 times. I looked at that and I said, I filled out 300 and my mom told me to keep going. So I was quite shocked at that. So in terms of what you have to do, you have to be proactive and not reactive. That means that you don't just apply for a job that's just there. You literally have to go and look for the job yourself. So what did I do? Well, I didn't. The only thing I could do, I started knocking on the doors. Literally knocking on all the doors that are possible. So, next one. I made a list of all the construction companies in Birmingham. And where? Next one. So I made a list of all the construction companies in Birmingham. I laid them out on a Google map, and I mapped them out from my hospital team from Alabama, all the way to exactly where the companies were. So all I had was myself, my suit, and 20 CVs. So inshallah, I went knocking on all the doors. I didn't have any interview. I didn't have any meeting. I just went on knocking on all the doors. And the hardest barrier was the receptionist. The receptionist was having none of it. They didn't want you seeing anyone. Inshallah, my CVs, I gave it to them. It went straight to the bin. You can see them when I turn around, it went straight to the bin. Well, alhamdulillah, preservation, I continued. And alhamdulillah, by the grace of Allah, I got 2 job offers because of that. So that's going back to the message. You have to be proactive and not reactive, just sitting and waiting for a job to come. You have to literally go knocking on the doors of the companies. And that's what I've done. I think that's one of the key things that I was surprised at. One of them even asked me, when can I start? And I said, I'll put my suit on, I can start today. And wallahi, they were shocked, and thinking they've never seen anything like this. So I literally went on knocking on the doors. I didn't know, because I knew as a young Somali, you are starting the race maybe 10 meters behind. With all the factors that are against you, realistically, you can't be too naive. The real world is you are starting, you don't have a connect, your parents are not in the field that you're working, so I've got no one to recommend you. I don't know anyone in the field, again, so I've got no one to recommend you. So as a Somali, you have to go. You literally, in an interview, when they asked me, can you do the work, I had to say, not only can I do the work, I'm the best at the work, because I knew that 3 or 4 other guys working in the next interview. So you're competing about 20 people, so you have to, as a Somali, you have to literally fly to get the job. Unfortunately, this is the real world. You have to go beyond just to get the job. And sometimes the interview stage is harder than the job. Alhamdulillah, once you get the job, you're thinking this is so easy. So you get event, you're thinking, they made me jump through hoops just to get a job. But alhamdulillah, I got 2 job offers. One was in Bristol, the other was in Birmingham. And living in Birmingham, alhamdulillah, I took the Birmingham job. So that's when I got the job, I kept telling the young people in the field, make sure that you have a lot of confidence about them. Maybe I'm not transparent confidence right now. In the interview, make sure you have a lot of confidence about them, because you are competing with maybe 10, 20 guys who's got connects, there was one instance where I was sitting in the interview room and I asked the other guy, I asked him, what brought you here? He said, well, the guy who's interviewing me, I'll live down the road from him. So part of this process, well, I had no job, I've been through so many funny interviews. And he said to the guy in the interview, he said, well, we can car share if you can give us a job. Eventually, I think he got the job, obviously. So there's so many instances. So I'm trying to tell the young people, inshallah, you need to literally fly just to get the job. I'm not saying you have to be the best, but make sure you put a lot of effort in terms of getting the job. So my current role, I'm a civil engineer quantity surveyor. I work on the 845 Birmingham Airport extension. Alhamdulillah, it's really good now. I went over, so it's quite money. It's quite good now. I'm currently working for Network Rail, EC Harris, as the quantity commercial manager. Assessing, it's quite ironic. Just this week, I'm assessing some of the companies that rejected me. I'm assessing their bids for the framework that they're bidding for like £300–400 million work. And Allah, if you see the directors and the senior management are shaking, the question I asked them, they are literally shaking. I'm asking them, your bid is not good enough, I'd like it better. I'm throwing it back in their face. And these are some of the companies that rejected me as an interview online. And it's quite ironic, and I quite laugh at that. And when you see these high directors, high big managers shaking such they are, then I said to myself, well, I don't know why I was nervous in the interviews. These guys, they breathe the same air as me. Well, you're going to be surprised at how these big managers, when they want to bid for a job, alhamdulillah, I work on the client side this time, just to explain, there's contractors and there's clients. I work for EC Harris and Network Rail, we are on the client side. So all the contractors who are building and doing all civil engineering, they have to bid for work. And at the moment, they're going through a bidding stage in April, where they're going to award 4 or 5 contracts worth £500 million across the Midlands. And I've been chosen to be part of the panel to assess the bids, to assess their technicality and the costing of it. And we've been going through a lot of interviews with all these companies, and it's all the companies that rejected me. So I'm thinking I'm going to give my hell out of a hard time, inshallah. So that's my experience. And the final word is, don't give up. Just change strategies, but just don't give up. You need to, you guys, we are Somalis here. We're not going to commit suicide just because we don't have a job. If someone's applying for 200, you've got to do that by 400. So you can't give up. You've just got to trust in Allah. Don't lose focus. Always, as soon as the chase is distributed, I remember as the Sheikh said, you're chasing so much, but it's still going to be further away. So just keep yourself focused, inshallah, and inshallah Allah will guide you to the right path. Be true to yourself, be humble, and try to help those who are coming up. And that's my speech, inshallah. I'm going to try to transfer it to the next speakers as well for his experience. So, jazakallah.
Excellent speech by our brother Usman, mashallah. I hope you guys learned something from his talk. I think I forgot to tell you guys, it's about 5 speakers today, and Usman was one of them, and I'm second, and there's 3 other engineers and IT and radiology is coming up after us, inshallah. So let me tell you about my story. My name is Hassan there, and I'm an electronic engineer at the moment. But I want to talk to you how I got to where I am now, inshallah. So the next slide here I show you. At the age of 16, I was a bit confused. I didn't know what to do. I want to make money. Yeah? I was motivated by money. As most of our guys are motivated by money. We like money. Yeah? Okay, I started thinking, I'm going to start one more packing job. Start one more packing job. That's my first job there, It's not me in the picture, but it's something like I was doing. The first few weeks it was hard, but I don't really get to it. I was picking up big boxes. It's too much for a 16-year-old boy, skinny, like most Somali guys, under 16. I couldn't do it. I struggled, and all my friends were going to college, and I was getting home tired, dirty, I was sweaty. I didn't like it, I had to think about my career choice. I have nowhere to go to again. Until one day that changed my mind. One day that totally changed my mind. One of the machines I was working on to pack the boxes broke. So what happened? They had to call one of the engineers. And he's coming from far. So Nicola Sugi, and I had put him on. He had a laptop with him. He was dressed nice. And then within 5 or 10 minutes, he fixed the machine. And I said to him, how do you do it and what did you do? You know, I want to become like you. He told me, first of all, have you been to college? No, I just went to my GCSEs. So he said, you know what, leave this place today, enroll in college, do this course, electronic and engineering. And don't finish there. After you finish your college, go to university. So what did I do? I came back to I saw this person. I was very excited. Okay, I told you before. Oh, was good, they say, you know, you give up your books for no reason, but we're not forcing you to do anything. We want you to make mistakes you can see. You know, we can only advise you, right? MashaAllah, my parents are very, you know, humble and they supported me. So out of Makkah, he took me to Sultan Corporate College. And he didn't just take me there. He had to get some advice from a school teacher, so the teacher said, oh, take him to this college, tell him to join school. So I'll take him there, you know. So I listened to them. The key to success, I'll tell you right now, is listen to your parents. I'm telling you, you listen to your parents today, you know, they want the best of you, you know. You'll be, inshallah, the future of tomorrow. So anyway, what I did, I started going to college. After I finished college, I went to university, and then I did my electronic engineering degree. So next slide, inshallah. So that's me at university, graduation day. My parents and my family and friends were there, and it was just a beautiful day, you know. But that's just the beginning. As soon as you got your degree, it's the beginning of your life. That's when you start. Degree is not hard, you know. If you work hard for it, you can get it, you know. So after I finished my university degree, I had some engineering jobs, a few months here and there. And then I started working, in 2004, I started working at Schneider Electric. So what do? As you see this graph here, you see a power generation station. This is where your electricity gets made. And it goes through some sections until it gets to your house. Yeah? Everybody here uses electricity. Here we have electricity, alhamdulillah. Yeah? So what I work on, I don't work on electricity as an electronic engineer. I work on, in case there's a power cut today, then we have one of our generators. It's called a power supply that will work. Not everybody will have it. You know, mountain I do power, you know, then I do power. No big deal. It's not a big deal. So we have a UPS for big company like HSBC. You know, so I want to show you how it looks like. One of our UPS. This is what it looks like. So it's a big machine that works on batteries. And what I do, I don't go on site. I train the engineers and I send the engineers. I tell them what needs fixing or installation. I tell them what to do from my office, and they go. About 30 engineers that work for me, and I train them all. And so, you won't fit this in the house. This machine is about as big as probably this stage. So banks like HSBC, Facebook, company like Facebook, they have it because, you know, if you try to log in now and one of their servers in that data center has no power, 1 billion people can't log in. So there's a lot of pressure on me, you know. If I tell the engineer, switch this button, you know, and nobody can log in, you know, tomorrow I might not have a job. Because there's a big mistake, you know. I'm losing £1 billion. Yeah? It's a lot of money involved, you know, so I need to be, make sure. So the next slide, inshallah. These are the servers I was talking about, you know, that Google have and Facebook. These servers, what they do is that, you know, you log in and they receive your data and all the data gets stored in these servers. Next one. Next slide, inshallah. So from my office, I can remotely log in to these big data centers for those banks. So I can find out ahead of time if there's something wrong. You know, I log into my computer and I can log into all data around the world. So I have got key customers that pay us millions and millions of pounds. So I can't make any mistake in my job. So this is the software I use for my job. This is one day, this is normal working day. I train engineers. So that's me at the stage. Like today, I'm going to give a presentation on how to fix or repair the machines. This is me doing some testing, and I want to show you what I think will work. I'm doing some testing here. This one. Okay? It's another testing, so I'll make sure that everything's on the laptop, make sure everything works fine. This is my office where I sit. Yeah. I've got 2 screens, so I can start multitasking because I'm on the phone, I'm on as well. As you see the handset, you know, I can type when the engineer comes in. I need to make sure I know what I'm doing. This is me doing some more testing. This is the achievements I got. So this is actually a HSBC bank in central London. One of their machines was nearly broken. I had a warning, and about 5 engineers went out there, and I had advised them what to do. I did that calmly, and after I took the unit fixed with no alarms, they said, you probably, saved us millions and millions of pounds, so they give you a certificate, and it's the manager, one of the managers of our company, and there's some comments they put down for me. So, after hard work, you get rewarded, and people look up to you in your company, So next slide, inshallah. This is another one. This was actually last week of me getting this award. This is last week actually. What Osman just said, network is very important. The more good reports you get, the more high you get in the company. And I don't know if they give you good reports, but if you don't like, looking up on it, that will really help you out. Okay? I probably have so many, only 1 or 2 go back to me saying, you know what, tap on the back. Next slide, Charlotte. So these are the benefits you get after you get a degree. Some of the guys get company cars, they get progression, they get networking skills, they can help people out. So it's brilliant. You can start as an entry level and progress to manager, senior manager. So it's a lot of rewards. Also, with my company, I can travel a lot. A lot of people can travel to France and to other places for training. So it's very rewarding. So last advice I would say, there's 3 things I want to tell you guys, inshallah, to make it a success, inshallah. So if you do the 3 things I tell you to do now, and you think about that, inshallah, whatever you try to do, you will make it, inshallah. Okay? First of all, as you see there, you need to be hungry for success. You need to do it from your own will. You can't just do it because somebody told you, or what you told you, I told you. You need to do it, So there's hunger for success. I don't know if you guys any of you guys have asthma, or if you have asthma, if you have attack, what will happen is all you want is to breathe. You don't care what your parents say, you don't care what's on TV, you want to breathe. So I'll tell you now, if you want to breathe, as bad as you want success, you will make it. Okay? I'll tell you this now. If you want to breathe as bad as you want to have success, you will make it down. Otherwise, you won't make it. If you aim for D, if you get a C, I'm happy. You don't need to aim for A, C, and D. You have to aim for A star even. Aim for it. If you don't get it, it's okay. Try to aim for the highest you can do. So that's one. You need to be hungry for success. Okay? The second thing is you need to sacrifice. You need to sacrifice your own time. You need to sacrifice even sleep. Some people rather want sleep than success. Somebody studying, you'll be studying one day and it's just don't sleep. You have a few months left before your exams. Don't even sleep. Sleep 1 hour, soak up some studies. Do you know what? The reason I'm saying this to you today, the people I know that succeed and mashallah, have a nice family, have a good job, and leave the Quran. These are the people that studied every night. I know them, and they were in the library. And you know what they call them now? They call them geeks. SubhanAllah. Do you know what? The geeks of today will become your managers tomorrow. I'll tell you that now. Yeah? They become your managers and the leaders and the presidents of tomorrow. The geeks, the guys that study. So as a sacrifice. So listen to this. To be able at any time to sacrifice for what you are to what you become. So what do I mean by that? Some of you, like I said, can sacrifice only if there's no football on. Look at the guys, look at the girls, there's more girls. You know why? They're watching football. That's why. They're watching football, they can't sacrifice. Yani, if they don't watch football, they feel they're going to die. Look at the benefit you guys get today. It's brilliant. You know? So, and some of you guys want to sacrifice only if there's no TV shows like EastEnders. EastEnders are on, you can't study because EastEnders is on. What can you guys watch? You know? Skype, somebody on Skype for 2 or 3 hours, you know? So sacrifice that. And even sacrifice the time you spend on the phone. I'm going to tell you this today. If you switch off your phone from now until the end of the exam, you will succeed and you get what you want. Because we spend too many hours on the phone, on social media, wasting our time. If you waste your time, waste it wisely. Why don't you buy books? Why don't you go to the library? You know? You're only young once. And this time will go. Tomorrow you're going to be old. You're going to have kids. You know? You're going to have responsibilities, you guys. You know? You're going to have wife and kids. Responsibility. You don't have time, man. You have time now. Take advantage. The last bit I want to say, so I said sacrifice. The last one is no pain, no gain. Pain is only temporarily. It can last for an hour, it can last for a day, or even for a year. But if you don't work hard, and you're just lazy, and you go on watching your programs, pain will last forever. You know, you won't afford to buy a car, you know, you also have low skilled jobs, you know. I want all of you guys to succeed. So, you know, that's what I want to say today, inshallah. Don't want to go on for long, and I'll invite our third speaker, and his name is Tabib Saad, and inshallah.
Very passionate speech by Mehdi. I mean, all the Somali people have a little ounce of the same passion behind the show. Will be, inshallah, very successful. Mention sacrifice quite a lot. I mean, that's one of the main key things, inshallah, we're going to that's going on through. I'd like to introduce Jibril Saad. No? I think, mashallah.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. مركز waxaa salaan waxaa hadska ilaahay siiyay awoodda fursadda aan ku imaan meeshaan kadib waxaa u mahadcelinayaa walaalayaasha programka soo jeediyeen runtii aad ugu dadaaleen waxaa kaloo u mahadcelinayaa dadweynaha meesha yimaaday. You guys could have been in many other places but you decided to come here, so thank you very much for that. So the brothers requested a short introduction of myself and some of the experiences that I went through. I don't have any fancy slides to share because there's not that much to me. But I am a professional software developer. I work for a company called One Result. It's based in Birmingham. I've been working there for the last 4.5 years. We build mobile applications and web applications, so those fancy applications that you guys use daily. I work on some of those. Some of my daily tasks are also dealing with project management and cost estimation. So what I do is, you have these multi-million projects. I will assess the projects, look at the tasks, look at the subtasks, and attach a cost to them. I also contribute a lot of ideas to the company I work for at the moment. One of the ideas I contributed recently is now actually going very big for the company. I graduated from this university a long time ago. I did a computer science degree here with a placement year, and I'll come back to that placement year because that was also one of my best time. When I went to the university, there were not that many Somalis in Birmingham. There were no places to go to if you wanted any career advice. And in my case, I need a lot of career advice because I didn't realize what I wanted to do until very, very late. Also, one of the most difficult situations I found myself in was because I didn't have many family in Birmingham, I had to provide for myself while I was studying. So in the first year of my uni, I ended up working 7 days a week. So imagine going to uni, finishing 4 p.m., 5 p.m., going to a crap warehouse job, working all night, and then coming home at night. You can't even sleep, you still got to do your assignments, and then you have to go back to uni with 4 or 5 hours sleep. In the second year, I realized I couldn't continue this, so I had to reduce it to 6 days a week. So it was still a lot. I went through many sleepless nights. Like, alhamdulillah, I managed to get a first class honors from this university. Like many of you, my journey started back home, straight from the jungle. Like really, I went through many countries, but then somehow I ended up in Holland, and from Holland I came to the UK. When I came to the UK, I was right in year 11. So when I came, it was like 4 months left, and we were doing our GCSE exams. And I remember at one point I turned up and I was told I had an English exam, and I can tell you I didn't go too well. I went through a lot of Saturday classes to pick myself up. From school, from college, when I went home, there wasn't any like appetite or support around education. It was all about go to the shop and Asda, those kind of things. Education doesn't exist in our household. I also had a lot of problems with moving, because in search for the perfect property, we must have lived in every single area in Birmingham. Also, one of the biggest problems was I had a lot of high expectations when I was in college, but I had no support. So, for example, parents want all A stars, but then when you come home, you don't have the support necessary to do well. So, you know, what happens is, for example, you turn up, you say you did really well on an assignment, you got a B, and you tell your mom you got a B, you know, all she knows is A or A star. So if you tell her you got a B, she'll be like, is that the highest grade? No, it's A. How come you didn't get A? You know, and they don't really understand it. In a nutshell, that's basically me. One of my most valuable points throughout my entire history was my placement year. The reason why it was because I worked for a company called GE. It was, I think at that point, before it got hit by the recession, it was the largest company in the world, or the second largest. As soon as I got into the placement, I was tested to the limit. I was working with guys that have been in the industry for 40, 50, 60 years, 40, 50 years. And, okay, not 60 years. But these guys were professionals. So they didn't really, you know, because when they went to university, the university was completely different. So, you know, as soon as you got there, they're expecting you to know all these things that we didn't really know. And nowadays, university, or at least in my time, first, second year, it was all about having assignments. We didn't learn anything more than that. So that was very valuable to me. When I came back from my placement to my final year, I was different from the other students. I knew everything, I've seen everything. So that helped me a lot. Also, my current professional work that I do at the moment, I believe when I started working in this company, within 6 months I had learned what I learned in my whole degree, basically. And so you have to realize that when you graduate, it's not, you know, it's not job done. The job starts then. I always used to have a strange thing that I used to do. What I used to do is I used to go to job descriptions. I don't know if anyone does that, but what I used to do is, for example, I wanted to be like an IT manager, so I used to go on the internet and look at IT manager jobs. And I just used to look at the different points that, you know, like job descriptions, and I used to actually work my way down. So I used to work with a lot of them, and that helped me a lot, because it meant when you go for a job, you pretty much tick all the boxes. As a final few words, my advice I'll give you guys, I don't think I can give you guys much advice beyond what the books have said, but just to add a few things to it. Managing your time, I think, is very crucial. Most people, especially Somalis, we suffer from not managing our time, so everything is just scrambled eggs. Think about this question: where do you want to be in 5-10 years' time? Most people will think that question. It's a good question, but it's not something they actually spend any time on. When I finished university and I started working with company, I realized I had no clear direction. There's so many different directions I could have taken with IT, but I didn't have no clear idea. if you think about this question, it will help you. Otherwise, you'll be chasing shadows. Also, I would like to say focus on one thing. Most Somalis, the problems are that they don't actually want to focus on one thing, they want to be everything. When I was in college, I had to be a doctor. I didn't want to be a doctor, but now that I've graduated, I want to be a doctor. You have to be realistic with yourself, and you have to kind of look at the time. And nowadays, professional work, they're more interested in length experience than having 20 different degrees. So, inshallah, one of the last but not least is salah. We underestimate this. We think that having degrees is valuable, having connections is valuable. They are valuable, like if you don't pray salah, which is one of the biggest issues in university and professional environments. If you don't meet those things, then you're pretty much, I would like to say, you're pretty much wasting your time, because you have to first of all realize that so you seek it, you have to seek it from Allah, not seek it from the guy. Humanity is just was sabab or you're going to get you to you. Like what I got inshallah, that's put away my inshallah.
The next speaker is Mohammed Qasim from he's in the medical field, he's a radiographer, and I'd like to introduce Mohammed Qasim, who just loaded his presentation. I mean, it's quite ironic because the next speaker, I was speaking to a young guy yesterday while I was handing out the flyers, and there was someone who's interested in the field that he's doing. There's a young guy in college and he was asking me about this, and I said, look, we've got this guy who's going to come to do the speech. It's the best time to meet him. We'll bring the CV down, and I can't see the young guy now, so it's quite unfortunate. I mean, there's a lot of young guys there doing the courses and finishing the course, but after they finish the course, they're on Hajjum Maram, and then here's the young guys, young professionals who are working in this field. So that's what we're trying to do. I think it's part of their own mischief. I think it's within themselves. I think they need to have confidence as well, and to find out these young Somalis. So it's a shame that we've got an electrical engineer, Hassan here as well. And also again, there's a young electrical engineer college right here. Because I've been handling a lot of these, I've met a lot of young guys and I've been asking them what are their aspirations, what are they doing, what are they working in. And it's quite funny, it's all the jobs that they wanted. We've got the young professionals within our committee, so what's what we're doing with them. But again, I can't see them here, so it's really unfortunate bringing the salvation in here. Then we're going to meet them guys. So inshallah, that's the main goal is trying to get the young guys who are looking for this job, and the young guys are already in there to make the disadvantaged slightly a bit closer, to the Somali. We're quite disadvantaged, and it's a very big picture of the moment for Somalia. We're trying to make a change. And in London, from my experience, I think London is maybe 30 years ahead of Birmingham. There are a lot of Birmingham Somalis here. I don't know, maybe civil engineers, electrical engineers, I don't know, a lot of accountants. There probably are a lot, they're not engaged in the community as much as we'd like them to be. There's a lot of Hispanic youth out there. I live in Alabama, I've lived there for a very long time, and basically where I go to chill, I'm staying in a lot of the time. Now it's all the little youth on Alabama, and it's quite disheartening to see that. It's nothing to really laugh about. It's really disheartening for a long time I've been living there. And I can see the change. A lot of Somali youth are taking a lot of the spots where a lot of people used to sit and just hang around all night. Leisure Somali, and it's something that strikes us accordingly. There's all these jobs out here, there's all these professionals working. We need to make that connection. And inshallah, that's what we're going to try to do. We need your support as well. There's a lot of professionals out there that trying to make the network bigger. So I'd just like to, without further ado, introduce our next speaker.
Assalamu alaikum. First and foremost, I just would like to thank everybody who came here and made it to come here, and hopefully we can learn something from this experience and network, make friends. Maybe you're sitting to somebody who's doing the same course that you didn't know, so you can always take something from this. When I finished school, I went to college and I finished. I didn't know what to do and what course to apply for. So my cousin spoke to me And I used to look up to him because he was a biomedical scientist. He went to university, and he even did masters, and he works as a biomedical scientist. He's very successful now. So he said do radiography, and I didn't really know what it was when I first heard radiography. I thought it was something to do with the radio, to be honest with you. But I did the research, so I advised each one of us when they want to do a course to do some research before you apply for the course. You need to do a bit of research on it. And then it looked really interesting. I started reading about it, and I started developing an interest to it. And also I saw that it's a type of course which is very useful for the job market. When you apply for a course, it's also important to think about that whether the course will help you get a job at the end of it. Because we know that many courses, when you finish them, many people don't get jobs after the course. It's not because there's something wrong with them, but it's because it's not really much in need when you look at the job market. So I saw that it was very needed, and that there was also many opportunities as well. And when you apply for something and then you study it and then you end up getting a job after you finish university, you want to know if you can get more opportunity and there's a promotion. So that's what I did. So university was, the first year is always the year that nobody works hard really. It's just you're new to the world, and then you just do what everybody does. But it's the second year when I realized that I really need to organize myself, and I need to organize my time. And like a lot of Somalis, we do the things last minute. You know, I would hand in my assignment, I would do my assignment probably the day before. Although I passed, but still it's not really ideal. So I start changing my the method of work, and I start organizing myself. And as soon as I was given that assignment to do, I started doing it on that day, and that really helped me. You have to also think about the resources, getting help from different teachers, and planning what you're doing properly. And you need to, I would advise anybody to go to as many teachers as they can to get good help. If you focus on, you might have a teacher that you like, but it's a good idea to go to many teachers. That way you have different opinions and different ways, they help you in different ways. So you need to be a bit smart about that. And you need to work hard, like everything. And I don't really need to go much into detail with working hard, because the brothers before me did really spoke really well about it. You need to really work hard in anything that you do, but you need to be smart as well. You need to know, because I'm sure that some of the brothers that spoke know about that one guy or that one girl in the class who was really, really clever, but at the same time, when it came to the mark, when they give your assignments back to you, they don't do so well. And then there's maybe somebody who's less intelligent, but they get a better mark. So it's not that, sometimes it's not how bright you are, but it's how smart you are. So you need to really think, always try to improve yourself in the way you do things. And also you need to keep the right balance with your social life and university, because in the first year maybe a lot of us are lazy, for the guys that play football, watch football, things like that. But you need to sort of keep a balance. You need to keep a good balance between your social life and your university life, and not do too much of your social whatever you do in your own time. Try to always focus. It's only 3 years, but 3 years will fly by quickly. So you need to be really smart about that. And also, you need to, it's a good idea to get involved in, I wouldn't advise to get too much involved, but it's a good idea to get involved in you have different societies. I studied at Birmingham City University. I was involved in the Islamic Society, and sometimes that gives you a bit of motivation as well. Good speakers, and they give you motivation, so you keep in your Islamic side and your professional, your university life at the same time. All right, so radiography, there's different sort of modalities or areas within radiography. Now, when you're a student, you also go to a placement, so it's 50% placement and 50% you're at university. However, some universities, they do things a bit differently. They might have a little bit more placement and less university work, and vice versa. But the typical areas are general X-ray, where if, for example, you had an accident or you fell or something like that, your hand got broken, you go to the hospital. The first people you probably see are radiographers. They will take an X-ray, and that X-ray will show your bones, if there's any fracture, if there's anything like that. Fluoroscopy is it's an area which is focusing more on the digestive system and how that's working. If you've got any problems with eating and things like that. Portable X-rays, similar. It's just taking an X-ray, but you go to the ward, you will go directly to the patients, and you will be taking an X-ray of the patients where they are, without them coming to where you are working. A&E is accident and emergency, and that's probably the busiest area, and that's the area where you will see sort of most accidents and people that have like car accidents and things like that. They will come to the A&E area, and it's quite sometimes you will see some shocking things. People who are from themselves from balcony, things like that, and very severe injuries, and at the same time, it's really motivating to sort of see beyond that and help the patient. Theatre is you go directly into where the surgeons are. They're doing operations, and you're helping with them. So these are the many areas that when you're a student you do that. And when you graduate, you also do that. You also work that. You also do that in the hospital. But there are specialities, and like the brothers before me were saying, when you have a degree, you can keep improving yourself. You can get a promotion, and you can specialize in an area that you want to specialize in. CT is a cross-sectional imaging, ultrasound. Women, they want to know, got a baby, you have ultrasound, MRI, cath lab. So there's many exciting areas you can go into. I can't include them all, but so it's something to keep in mind. Personally, I would like to. I graduated last year, but personally, I would like to specialize in MRI. What are the skills that you need to be a good radiographer? You need to have people skills. You need to be able to work with different people. You need to have good communication skills. You need to have a caring personality. You need to have good teamwork. You need to be able to work in a team, and you need to have confidence. But confidence comes with experience. That's what I believe personally. But if you look at all these skills, these are the same skills that you probably need in any job anyways. So if you feel like you have these skills, then you could be a good radiographer. Why should you do radiography? If you feel like you fit the criteria, what I mentioned before, and you feel like you can do that, then I think you should go for it. As soon as you graduate, the likelihood of getting a job is very good. Job security is second to none. If you like working with technology, the radiography is for you. Every day is a new experience. So when you come to the hospital, you see something every day. So it's a new experience for you. Also, you're increasing in knowledge, so you learn something every day because you're seeing new things. There's many opportunities to specialize in. You could there's many, you could get a promotion, you could specialize in the area that you want, you could even become a consultant, a manager, you could even go into teaching. And British radiographers are considered to be amongst the best radiographers in the world because of the technology they work with and the knowledge they have. Okay. How do you, if there's any students that are going to college or doing sixth form, to get into radiography, well, I had 300 UCAS points, but now I think they're asking for 320 UCAS points. They made it a bit harder now. You need to do physics, biology, chemistry. If you have that, that's really, really small, so you should do that as A-levels. It's a good idea to visit your hospital and get some work experience, even going around the hospital, the department, having a look for yourself. That would help you. But if you're a radiography graduate, so you've done radiography, then if you're with a small percentage that didn't get a job, then a good idea would be to do locum. Locum is when you are employed by an agency but you work in the hospital. There's something called bank radiographer. It's nothing to do with the bank. It's basically you're working as a radiographer, but you're working whenever they need you. So they will call you, and that's when you work. And you really, if you want to get a job in any field, really, sometimes you need to do it yourself. So you really need to go there and give your CV in. And give it to the manager directly. Don't give it to people that work there. They'll probably throw it in the bin. So or phone them. Do it. You have to try. Sometimes you have to really phone, give in as many applications as you want. This is the only way to do it. Right, so there's some more information about becoming a radiographer. I've listed some websites there that are really useful and some websites that whoever wants to apply for this course can go into. So later on, whoever wants, I've printed these out, so I've got them in paper. So whoever wants this, I will give them personally. And whoever wants some more information, I'll give more information to them. So last final words. I think the thing that should motivate us is hard work and success. But I've included a quote by Ibn Qayyim, who's a famous Islamic scholar. He says, if you do not work hard and face difficulties along the way of seeking glory, you will never taste honor and relief when you attain victory. So that's what I want to say.
Mohammed is one of our youngest members, professionals, and with this speech, well, I should motivate you guys who are also, mashallah, very young like him. I want to mention one point he made. Go and see your teachers. I like what he just said, mashallah. You go to university making £9,000, and you're not making an appointment with your teacher. Why? If you said, oh, I have no time, say, I don't pay you £9,000, tell me I don't have time. If he says, oh, see my assistant, say, no, you have to take time for me. Even if it's in your break, I'll sit down next to you, I take notes. You need to be hungry, like I said earlier on, you need to be hungry for success. And some of you maybe never even had a session with your professor or your teacher. You just take your notes and you go home. No, make an appointment with him. MashaAllah, very good point. Muhammad. On this, our next speaker, Adam, he's an accountant. And he was also, mashallah, very young, he was only 23, and he was very successful, mashallah. And he came all the way from London to come and join us and to advise you guys. So, mashallah, listen to his talks. So, Adam, inshallah.
Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man. Firstly, I didn't come from London, that's correct. I came from Leicester. So, It's all the same anyway. So. I see people are falling asleep, so I'm going to change up a little bit. I did plan to talk a bit more about myself, but it's probably not the case. I'm going to talk more about the lessons that I've actually picked up along the way, and things that I've actually learned that might be of some benefit to everyone else, things I've told my family, etc. Alright, well, I don't have anything special about my typical Somali. Million siblings, nowhere to study in my house, so it's pretty similar to everyone else, I'm pretty sure. I studied at the University of Leicester, so I studied Maths with Management. I grew up in London, and I do work in London at the moment. Okay. At the moment, I'm working for an accounting firm with PwC. Has anyone heard of them? No. Okay, a couple of people. Okay, well, they're like the largest accounting firm in the world, and they're number one in the Times of undergraduate employers. So, when I was applying for jobs, I started from the bottom, number 100. I worked my way up. Well, alhamdulillah, I got rejected by nearly everyone else, but number one decided to employ me. Don't know why. But, yeah. So, apart from that, in terms of background, during my time at university, I failed my first year actually. And at the time, it was quite a difficult time because before that, I didn't work that hard. I relied on maybe my natural ability a bit more. And then when I got to my first year of university, because I was used to competing against maybe Mohammed down the road, it wasn't too bad. But then when I got to university, I was competing against people that had private education. Sounds of millionaires. It's not a joke by any means. And I think when that happened, that was probably the best thing that's ever happened to me in my life, because it helped me change my focus and my way out in life and my outlook in terms of working hard. And I really changed the way I was and my working habits, and I really didn't put my head down and try and work from there onwards. Next slide, please. So here's some of the lessons that I've actually learned. I think one of the most important things I've learned was focus. Really know what you want from life, where you want to go, and how you actually go to get there. So if you want, for example, to work in a law firm, you know that it's going to be really competitive. So in your second year, you apply for internships. Don't reach the end of university, then think, oh, what do I want to do? I want to study law. But people that are actually getting the better jobs, they were doing internships in the second year. They knew what they wanted to do from college. They applied for the right office in college. So really, you need to really focus and know what you want to do. And that's something I've learned from myself, interestingly enough. Although I studied maths, when I went to college to pick my A-level subjects, I only picked maths because PE was full. So I really wanted to pick PE, and they said it was full, so I said, okay, give me maths. And I changed the whole outlook of my life because I went to study at university. I went on to study accounting as well. And so working as an accountant. Also studying as well. But I didn't really have that focus. I didn't know where I wanted to go. I didn't have that advice that I could ask maybe an older sibling who's been to university or ask anyone else in the community. I didn't know what I was doing. So it was more just stumbled my way across and I found my way here. But I think definitely if you know what you want to do, it's really important. The second thing I think is very important is the same slide. No, there's not much on the slides. Second thing that's really important, as I mentioned before, I briefly touched upon, was work ethic. MashaAllah, in our community we have a lot of talent. We have a lot of people with really good natural abilities. And I'm sure many of you know them and many of you have great natural abilities. But I think one problem we have is work ethic. We don't put in the necessary work in order to get where we want to get to. And I think that's a major problem because you have to remember that your talent is not going to take you everywhere. You have to have a really strong work ethic and instill from a young age and try and really work. Because they say hard work beats talent if talent doesn't work hard. So the person who works hard is always going to be the talented person. The talented person doesn't put in the necessary hours. So in addition to that, know who you are. We're Muslim, we're Somali, and we're proud of that. We don't have an inferiority complex or think we're less or anything like that. We know who we are, we should be proud of that. And for example, when I graduated last summer, I was applying for a lot of jobs and it's really competitive in my field. And one of my friends, one guy, he said to me, oh, maybe you should shave your beard. And I said to him, look, if I get a job because I've shaved my beard, or my sister made me take off an HR, or brother, etc., shave your beard, then I don't want to work for that company anyway. If I have to change myself to be someone I'm not, then that's not what I want anyway. It's not fair for me, then I'll leave that. And alhamdulillah, after all of that, all the jobs I applied for, hundreds upon hundreds, and I got possibly the best job I could have wished for when I was finishing university. If I was to pick one job I would have had, it would be the job I've got right now. and I got rejected by a whole lot of jobs that I didn't even want. They're probably companies that are half as good. So I think in terms of know who you are and be patient, you put in the work, then Allah will do the rest. Tawakkal ala Allah. You put your trust in Allah, and then the rest will happen. So you do what's necessary. You don't. Some people, there's two extremes. Some people, they say Tawakkal ala Allah and they sleep and they don't do anything. And then there's other people that say I'm going to do it myself. And that's not the way it is. It's in the middle path. So we do as much as we can, and then Tawakkal ala Allah. You tie your company. My fourth point is choose your company wisely, because it's important. Your friend circle really also define who you are. The Prophet ﷺ said, in terms of good companion, he mentioned a good companion is similar to the seller of musk. So even if you don't get something, some musk from him, even when you leave with a positive smell. And a bad friend is similar to a blacksmith. Even when you leave, if you don't leave with a negative, you still leave with a negative smell. So your friends do affect you, and your company do affect you. Try and surround yourself with people that are trying to do better, trying to achieve in the dunya and the akhirah. It's not just one thing, it's both. We should have alul himmah. We try and achieve as much as we can actually achieve in both this dunya and the akhirah. My final point, which is not actually on the slide, which I just decided to add in right now, is don't make excuses. We can make a million and one excuses as to why we can't get to where we want to get to, why our coursework's not handed in, why we're not getting the grades we want, we're poor, we don't have anyone to study with this, with that. There can be a million and one excuses, honestly. And if you look, our parents came from Somalia to give us a better opportunity. I went to Somalia and I saw my cousin, and he worked really hard, but he said, look, he said, wallahi, if I was in England and I had the opportunities that you have, I would be taken. And it's so sad to see when you see Somalia standing on the street corners, not making use of the opportunities we have. We have a million and one opportunities. We just don't realize it. When you go to Somalia, you realize that actually people don't have opportunities. We've got opportunities. We just don't grab it. We don't put in the necessary hours or the time to actually grab those opportunities. And don't make excuses. Just because someone has a better background than you, is richer than you, or has this or has that, it doesn't matter. Honestly, we don't make excuses. We only care. No employer, honestly, the real harsh reality is, employers don't care about your excuses. They're not going to say, okay, well, this person's from a poor background, then I'll accommodate for them because they didn't achieve this A or this or that. And I think that's my last point, so I end it there, inshallah.